Good morning. Today I would like to talk a little bit about judgment and also, being aware of what it is that we're teaching our future generations, be it our children or just young people that we influence. Um, there's something that I noticed because, I grew up in regular Christianity like many people. I was Lutheran, many of my friends are Catholic. I don't necessarily think they're bad. I don't necessarily think they're good. But the thing that has upset me more than once throughout my life is people who are claiming to be Christian and have Christian values tend to very much be some of the most judgmental people. And they feel like if you're not in their little area of Christianity, that you are somehow not as good or don't have a connection with God and spirit. And I just don't feel like that's right. I feel like we are all different. We can connect with God and spirit how we choose and how feels good to us. And the thing, I've taken quite a few world religion classes because I went to a Catholic university. And the thing that I took from studying a various amount of different religions, not a huge fan of organized religion, but it has its place. Um, Religion, none of them preach to you to be judgmental, cruel, selfish. None of those are tenets of any religion that I've seen. Maybe, maybe Satanism, if you want to consider that a religion, um, or maybe anarchism, if you want to consider that a religion, because those two things kind of strive on chaos and detriment. But any of the main other religions like Christianity, Islam, Hindu, Buddhism, Taoism, there's a wide variety of them. Most of them speak to either um, just being a good person, or they talk to you about trying not to judge other people on how they're living their lives. And something I'm learning in my 40s is that um, although it's easy to judge and we all do it a little bit, we really need to pay attention to projecting those judgments onto people. You can have a judgment of someone, and maybe it's right and maybe it's wrong. But most of the time, they don't ever need to know that you have that judgment of them. And I really am worried that we're pushing this onto our children. I have people that I grew up with where they were allowed to live their lives for the most part, to experience life and enjoy things and have a good time. And now that they're older and married and have children, they're trying to pretend like those parts of their lives didn't exist. That's strange to me. I mean, we all have our little wild part of life. That's normal. That's how you experience and grow in life. Everything that you've done in life is what makes you a good parent. Like the fact that I went out and had my wild times with my friends and stuff, that's what's going to make me a good parent because I've been there, I've experienced that. I can be in my child's shoes at some point, or, my nieces or nephews or whoever, I'm dealing with that is a younger person that is influenced by me. And I was a little upset because we are very good and we let some family members stay with us free of charge. We make sure the house is clean and neat for them. We try to have food they like to eat there. And they are not always considerate about our time and our lifestyle, which is fine. It happens, not a big deal. But one of their children, who's in their teenage years, um, left a note for my mom on her pillow. And granted, my mom is 80 years old. She's kind of stuck in her ways. It happens. She's not had the easiest life either. But left her a note saying, I'm praying that you'll be saved. And I know this shouldn't have upset me, but I was like, what is a, 12, 13, 14-year-old kid praying that an 80-year-old woman who has lived life will be saved from? My mom, for all her good and bad, has lived through a lot and come out basically good on the other end. So for this child to judge her and then leave her a note saying that she's praying she'll be saved. I want to like look this child in the face and say, what do you think she'll be saved from? We all are only responsible for our own salvation. You can pray for people. You can tell people you're going to pray for them. You can send them good vibes. But you're not responsible for anyone else's salvation other than your own. And I can't judge. You can't judge. No one can judge who's going to be saved. My understanding of it is if you choose to believe, you will be saved in the end. You will make amends for whatever wrongs you've done in life, and you will be forgiven. Anyone else can choose to believe what they want, but I just really am worried that we're turning the next generations into very judgy people who will turn their nose down upon you, but won't know how to fight for anything for themselves. And it kind of worries me because a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old, they shouldn't be at the place in life where they feel like they can even say that to an adult, especially to like a parent or a grandparent or something. I mean, I'm all for free expression. I think that's good. And I'm all for praying, obviously. I think that is wonderful. But to tell someone you're praying they're being saved, it's like, what do you feel they're being saved from? To me, you're just judging them, saying, well, the way you live your life, you need some help. That might be true. It might not be true. I'm learning as I grow older and as I mature that we all have gone through traumas that we don't always share. And they affect how we deal with life, and they affect, how we just develop as human beings. We need to learn as a whole how to be a little bit more forgiving of other people and not take everything so personally. And it is completely fine to pray for people. It is completely fine to want to be good people. But sometimes things do not need to be said because they cause more harm. I really do think telling an 80-year-old woman who's lived a long, hard life and basically come out a very good person on the end, flawed, but basically good, is a form of cruelty. And I would not want a child to be doing that. It's bad enough if an adult does it. Because the child, I don't think, really is cognizant of what they're doing. So I apologize if this was a little bit of a rant, but it's kind of important to me because I like to share a little bit as I'm learning my lessons in life. And, in case other people are dealing with the same things, even if it just makes you think for an extra minute, maybe your parent is being difficult and you have to deal with them on a daily basis and you're an adult and they're an adult. Give them a little bit of leeway. Let something slide once in a while. We're all struggling through this thing called life. So I hope you all have a wonderful day full of happiness, love, and light. And just remember, everybody else is struggling too.